Hello viewers, welcome to today's episode of Load Shedding, a show that focuses explicitly on current affairs pertaining to the African continent. Today we shall be focusing on a negative topic. It is with regard to the Commonwealth Games that are currently being hosted in Australia. You see, Day 9 has just drawn to a close, and although the African countries are winning more and more gold medals and still have a chance to win even more over the weekend as the games draw to a close, it is an unofficial game that our African countries are better at, it seems, than their counterparts. Now, before I delve into what game that could possibly be that the Africans are better at than their counterparts, let's quickly have a recap of the medals that have been won so far. Well, Australia is on top with 168 for countries worldwide in the Commonwealth, but let's have a quick look at which countries are leading in Africa. Well, on top we have South Africa with 35 medals in total, and the bottom three countries are Cameroon, Ghana, and Seychelles with 1 bronze medal each. So it seems that on average the one game that we are better at than other Commonwealth countries is the game of hide and seek. You see, take the coach of the weightlifting team for the Rwandan weightlifters. Right before they were supposed to go on to compete, he excused himself to go to the bathroom, never to be heard from again, leaving his team in a pretty shitty situation. His fellow countryman in Zabatarura, Eugene, was interviewed and asked about the whereabouts of the weightlifting team coach, but he said he had no idea, and also mentioned that the coach left behind all his belongings in the village. Needless to say, one can sense that this case pretty much stinks. It appears that at least 13 athletes have gone missing so far from African countries, and they come from the following countries: Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Uganda, and Rwanda. Some athletes did not even show up for the events. Take Sierra Leone's men's doubles squash players Ernest Jombla and Yusuf Mansaray, for instance. They were to face matches including one against India. Cameroon takes the crown with the tally of deserted athletes amounting to 8, 2 of which seem to be boxers who left in what is dubbed the After Dark escape. My guess is that they were shadow boxers. Anyway, all joking aside, I do believe that some, if not all, of these 8 athletes that disappeared from Cameroon are Anglophone, and let's not forget the struggles that this minority is currently facing in their country. In any case, it seems that it's somewhat of a tradition to remain behind unlawfully in Australia. Take 2006, for instance, when the Commonwealth Games were held in Melbourne. 45 people stayed behind or remained unlawfully in Australia, with some of them also applying for protected visas. And also during the Olympics that were held in Sydney, 145 overstayed their visas and 35 of them asked for asylum. And since the Aussies are such good sports, authorities have called upon Gold Coast residents to be on the lookout for African athletes that are on the run. Now, to make this a proper competition in terms of gold, silver, and bronze, let's say that the gold winners will be those that manage to stay awake successfully indefinitely. Silver will be those that manage to stay beyond the expiration of their visas but get caught. And bronze is for those that get caught before the visa expires. Let's not forget that it is but a small percentage of athletes that end up asking for asylum in the host country, even for the African athletes. And even though some have very valid reasons, justifiable reasons to ask for asylum, some of them seem to be taking the piss out of the situation. I mean, let's not forget that you are chosen to represent your country, and you should do this with pride. I mean, okay, that you want to ask for asylum afterwards, all well and good. But when you're chosen to go and compete, at least complete the event you've been chosen to do. Not just for the pride of your country, but also for yourself. I mean, if I was to be in their shoes and I wanted to ask for asylum, I would at least try to make a name for myself before I disappeared. At least then the host country would know what they're dealing with. I'd like to hear from you what you think about this. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Also, I'd like to hear from you the craziest story you've heard of or witnessed during such an event. If you like the show and you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, you can subscribe to me on the various platforms that I'm on. And of course, I'd like to see you again next time. My name is Kees Kibinda. Until next time, bye-bye.